did you have any secondary sports news this week?
Did not.
Fantastic. Well, that means we'll bounce right into our doubleheader homestand weekend for the Denver Outlaws.
It's homecoming week, baby.
It was homecoming week, and I did not realize this. The end of the regular season for the Outlaws.
Good for they.
Yeah, we talked about if they were going to do any buys, and it looks like with completing their 10th regular season game after the second game of their homestand here, they will get the last regular season week next week off.
We like that.
We absolutely do. To cover the action here at Peter Barton Stadium, Friday night, Denver had to play in the setting sun the Carolina Chaos, who were a team that we lost to in the early part of the season already, but coming in as the hottest offensive team in the league. This one ended up a 12-11 loss. The good guys were not able to pull this one out. Especially tough because we took a 9-5 lead into halftime and then only scored 2 goals in the entire second half. Very tricksy. Chaos, I think, are second in the East currently, but definitely a matchup to keep note of looking ahead to playoff time, because it seems maybe like a little bit of a like Timberwolves versus Nuggets thing, where like this roster maybe isn't going to set the world on fire, but they do seem to be designed specifically to counter what we do.
Yeah, some teams do that to you. I know that firsthand. It hurts. It hurts bad.
Yeah, it's still an entertaining game. Great show for the crowd. And I will say, of all of the PLL action that I've watched, the Denver crowd, not to toot our own horn, was by far the most active and involved and enthusiastic crowd of any of the broadcasts I have caught so far. Loud all the way through, especially for the Outlaws when they had the ball, but just like a very vibrant lacrosse atmosphere, I would say. The Outlaws took that one right down to the last possession. It was 12-10 with 14 seconds left to go. They were able to score 1 goal in that 14-second window. We're not able to run a second exciting 10-second or less play to get another goal in and force OT. So they did break their 6-game winning streak, did fall to 6-3 after that Friday night. But then had to go right back to it on Saturday against the East's number 1 team, the New York Atlas, their one and only showdown for this regular season. And this was probably game of the year, game of the regular season. Lived up to the hype. Definitely, like, you know how near the end of the season in your regular, you're like, oh, this one has a playoff feel? That's what this was. This was... the Friday night, it seemed like maybe the Outlaws had mentally checked out a little in the second half, maybe took Carolina for granted. In this one, everyone was kind of locked and loaded, ready to go against your toughest opponent, and it was a good one. This was sort of the reverse situation. The Outlaws took a 4-goal deficit into halftime. They were down 9-5, or 9-4, I think, and then had an absolutely dominant second half. They generated 62 shots on goal.
That feels like a lot.
It's a huge number. And the Atlas goalie was he had like a 50% save percentage, which is very good in lacrosse. But it was just, an onslaught from the Outlaws in the second half. Were able to, and this one again came down to the very last minute and like possessions and timeouts and all that fun, exciting stuff that you like to see. Jake Pacino got a huge 2-point goal, the only one of the game, to get the game tied up. And then it was a back and forth for the last minute 37 with clutch scoring. We took a 12-12 game into overtime at the end of regulation. And that was a surprisingly long overtime, considering it is a sudden death, next goal scores. But both goalies playing out of their minds as well. They went about 4 possessions each team before we finally got Jared Bernhardt for the Outlaws to put home the game winner. With that 13-12 overtime win, our Outlaws secure the number 1 seed in the West and a first-round playoff bye. So
we will take that.
We absolutely will, especially Pat Cavanaugh came into this weekend questionable due to injury, so we're giving everyone a couple of weeks here at the high point of heat in the summer to rest up, relax, do some scouting, and get ready for the semifinals of the playoffs in 2 weeks. But that doesn't. I'll still give the PLL update next week, but we're not going to have any Outlaws to talk about for a little while now.
Good news and bad. Unfortunately, we won't get an update, but good that they get one. They won this week, won at least the one they needed to get that bye, and we are getting ready for playoffs now, baby.